looking at Canada Royal Milk.
A huge facility that came with big expectations. Workers that landed jobs here thought they were set for life. That's not how it worked out.
There's actually a truck right there. Those are the types of trucks I was talking about.
5 current and former employees have told CBC News stories about people who worked here getting sick, being injured, and their fears someone could die.
I'm mad, man. I'm mad.
We're protecting their identities because they fear a backlash for speaking out about how they were treated.
I can't get a job anywhere because of the pandemic. And here I am with an employee or employer that doesn't seem to give a damn about my health and safety, my physical well-being, my mental state.
Safety precautions, PPE, training, standard on other Ontario job sites, but missing here.
We were told constantly, this is the way they do things in China. This is the way they do things in China. So I keep asking them, then why did you build a factory in Canada then?
Ontario's Workplace Safety and Insurance Board reports that in its early months of operation in 2019, this plant reported illnesses and injuries at a rate 4 times higher than similar workplaces.
They could have killed themselves quite easily.
This former employee says unqualified millwrights were installing equipment around hundreds of volts of live electricity.
It is a federally mandated rule. You are not allowed to work live. It takes less than an amp to stop your heart.
Poor air quality made some workers sick.
We were constantly dumping powder with no face coverings whatsoever. They had no respirators. They barely had any kind of proper PPE.
Some were at constant risk of falling.
There's people that had to work at heights every day, and none of them had either the training or the harness or the anchor points.
Before contacting CBC News, workers tried other ways to improve their workplace. They held a vote, hoping to certify a union, but the United Food and Commercial Workers and the company have been in arbitration for over a year now, disputing which ballots should count. Workers also called in Kingston's Fire Department and the Ontario Ministry of Labour, hoping they would investigate some of their workplace safety concerns. CBC News used Ontario Freedom of Information law to see what concerns were flagged to provincial and municipal officials. One of the most serious? An explosion risk. An unknown caller warns that the plant's dryer could explode. Workers shared these pictures. One said that as it turns milk into powder, the plant's cyclone dryer system works like a 4-story pressure cooker. But sometimes a dryer would malfunction and clog with burnt milk powder. There'd been flooding, and to stop the water, the company turned off the fire suppression system. But this unknown caller told the Labour Ministry the company had resumed running the dryer without its safety system, and it caught fire. When the inspector came, the company told him it was working to make the dryer more safe.
As Labour Ministry is they're useless. In every sense of the word, they're useless.
How comfortable are you that it was safe to operate?
0%. It is not safe.
Another worker says that in the heat of a dispute last year, his manager laid a hand on him.
I don't know what to do. This is my boss. I need this job. The people that witnessed it, I just looked at them and they're like, man, you know that's not right. You know that's not allowed in Ontario.
An external investigator agreed, concluding this was a violation of the Health and Safety Act, but the manager remained on the job. Canada Royal Milk declined an interview, but in a statement it said operations were delayed and impacted by the global pandemic, but the health and safety of our employees continues to be our top priority. The company said whenever concerns are raised, we readily cooperate with the appropriate authorities and regulatory bodies to ensure that they are investigated in a transparent manner, addressed, and resolved. And it continues to make additional improvements based on employee feedback. All 3 levels of government put taxpayers' money into landing this massive foreign investment for Kingston. But now, these workers want their governments to enforce Canadian law at this plant.
They didn't care about you. They didn't care about your family. They didn't care about your health, your wellness, nothing.
That should have been a great place to work. great place for Kingston, and it's not. That's all I got to say on it.
Janice McGregor, CBC News, Kingston, Ontario.